Hey everyone, Rogue Gold here, and today we are coming back with another Season 3 Project Resolve video for The Division 2, and what I want to talk about is re-rolling the third attribute on your exotic weapons. For anybody who didn't know, this is a new feature and thing that they have unlocked with this update, meaning that instead of the locked third attribute that used to come on all exotic weapons where it was predetermined what the weapon would roll with, every exotic weapon in the game now has a random third attribute. You can put whatever you want there. For the majority of people, that means they're going to be putting damage to targets out of cover, but it does mean that guns that did not have that stat before can now basically just get a free buff. However, I've seen a lot of people be aware that this is a thing, but then they say they have no idea how to do it, or they're going to the recalibration station and saying it still doesn't allow them to change their exotics. That's not how it works. There is actually an entirely separate system called reconfiguration that allows you to do this. So, just to catch everybody up to speed, that's what we're going to go over today, and I'm going to show you how to do it. A very quick disclaimer that I want to give before we get into the guide itself is that there is a bug going around right now that you might have heard about in relation to this whole system. And what's happening is that if people try and do this reconfiguration when they have a full inventory, a full backpack, right, you're at maximum slots, it will, instead of re-rolling and giving you a new version of the exotic, it will just delete it and you lose it forever. So if you're trying to do something that has high expertise on it, if you're trying to do a rare one like the Eagle Bear or the Ouroboros, it'll be gone. As long as you have room in your bag, it should be fine, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate in this video, but just take that at your own risk. If you're going to do it before they officially fix this bug, be aware that there is some risk out there that you could lose the item. That said, if you follow the steps that I'm about to show, you should be completely fine. Alright, so let's go over the steps to get it done. Step number 1, you want to come right here to the White House. Then you're going to want to determine which exotic you actually want to reconfigure and re-roll. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use the Chameleon. Of course, this is an old Year 1 exotic. It's always had the fixed attribute there of crit chance that we're going to be changing. And to demonstrate that this meshes with the expertise system, I do have one expertise level on here, and you'll see that even though we're going to re-roll it and change it, it will retain that expertise level. I know that's a big fear that a lot of people have, is that they're going to lose the progression of materials they put into it if they make a new copy, but fortunately the devs thought ahead with that one. So you're also going to want to unmark whatever weapon you're going to do. If you have it saved as a favorite, it will ask you to do this anyway, so it's just good to do it now. And then once you do that, you're going to want to head right on over here to where the crafting station is. Now before we actually interact with it, if you have not done this, and this step will differ for different people, you want to make sure and talk to Anaya here and make sure that you purchase the reconfiguration blueprint for whatever specific exotic you are trying to re-roll. It says I have no items available because I always purchase these as soon as I get them, but if you didn't know about this and you haven't really talked to Anaya, you might have a ton of different blueprints here to buy. They're pretty cheap as far as I can recall, but yeah, whatever exotic you want to re-roll, you do need to buy the blueprint from her. After that, you then get to go to the crafting station. You want to go into weapons, and you can tab all the way down, and you can see the bottom two categories are where we have our exotics. Now this one is the crafting one for the various ones that had those steps, but then down here, the very last category under weapons is the reconfigure category. And so you just need to scroll through and find the specific one that you're going to do. In our case, we have the Chameleon right here, which is what we already determined. Now this does require some materials. Obviously you got the regular credits, steel, carbon fiber, receiver components. It does take one exotic component per reconfiguration, and that is the whole key here. This isn't necessarily a cheap thing to do, but it is, pretty worthwhile if you can get the right stat that you want. Once you decide on it, you select it. We're going to pick the one that we have there, and then once it's slotted in, we can craft. Now, one very important thing to talk about before we do this is what reconfiguration actually does. It is not the same as recalibration, where you get to select what stat now goes onto the gun. And you can see down there on the third one, it says random bonus. What reconfiguration is it basically wipes the exotic that you have, and it gives you a brand new one with a random loadout of stats, right, as well as a random distribution of stats. So there's a chance that when you do this, your rolls that you have, let's say on the assault rifle damage and the health damage on this Chameleon specifically, they could go down, right? It can go up or down. It's a completely random system how they determine this. So again, keep that in mind. If you've optimized a piece, if you're worried about your stats going down, that's just stuff to consider before you do it. This is the only way you can change the third attribute if you want that different bonus, but that's just something you got to keep in mind. But let's go ahead and do it. We're going to craft right now. Before it had crit chance, and now our new copy still has the one expertise level right there, as you can see. So we did not lose that. You retain it even when you do this, and now we have swap speed on there. I'm going to try and get damage charts out of cover, so let's do it again. This time we'll actually take a look at the stats right there. I have 10.5 assault rifle damage and 14.5 health damage, and then if we put this one in and do it again, those values will be different when it goes through this time. Now I have maxed out health damage, almost or higher assault rifle damage. We still got swap speed. I'm going to do it one more time here just for demonstration's sake so you can see these stats going up and down. Again, the health damage got lowered, assault rifle damage went up, now we have reload speed. So you can do this as many times as you want to try and get the right attribute and the value of rolls that you want. But again, it is going to cost you an exotic component every time, so do be aware of that. Alright everybody, and that is your look at how to re-roll all exotic weapons in the Division 2 because they can now get any attribute. This is, I think, a really great change. You know, I'm excited to do this on stuff like the Eagle Bear, which is my favorite gun in the game, so I'm definitely rushing to change that one. But yeah, it's nice for build diversity, it's nice to give some of those lesser used and underpowered exotics a bit of a damage buff. I think it's a cool change, and now you know how to do it, so let me know your thoughts. What are some of the first weapons and items you're going to augment with this system? And yeah, just let me know what you're thinking down below. That is going to do it for me in this one, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Rogue Gold. Ow.